Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday for our live Bible study. I know it's been a while, but we're glad to have you in this virtual space joining with us. Guys, as we continue to focus on courage, it's something that we've been talking about in this past Sunday message, and I want to continue in that flow, in that lane, talking about courage. And tonight, I'm going to challenge you not just to have courage to do what's necessary to see the change in your life, but the challenge tonight is for you to have courage to see the change in someone else's life. We spoke on the text, the gospel according to Matthew, the 15th chapter, and in that, the 25th verse, there was a Canaanite woman who came to Jesus, whose daughter was sick. And when Jesus saw this woman coming towards him, his disciples says to him, just shoo her away because she's causing a commotion amongst us. And what I love about that is her response to the situation, even though she had to deal with being called out or spoken against or humiliated, she yet still did not allow that to hinder her press into what she was believing God for. And I'm challenging you because I need you not to have courage just for yourself, but I'm challenging you because I need you to have courage for someone else. What was so significant about this text was this woman that was pursuing Christ was pursuing him not on the strength of what she needed God to do in her life, but it was on the strength of what she was believing God to do in her daughter's life. Are you capable of using your courage to pursue God to make changes and do the miraculous in somebody else's life? Or do you sit there and you're waiting for your turn, you're waiting for your opportunity? Because we live in a society and we live in a time that if it's not about me, then it's not about anyone else at all. You have to be careful that you don't allow the desire for it to be about you to distract you from what God needs you to do or pursue him for someone else. When was the last time that you pursued God and you prayed and asked God to touch someone else? When was the last time you pursued God and you asked and you fasted for somebody else? Do you not understand that in your willingness to pursue God for someone else's life, he automatically changes your life too? So we have to be challenged because we spend more time praying about our own needs and we don't pray about the needs of others. But our prayer should always be, God, before you do it for me, I need you to do it for my brother. I need you to do it for my sister. And I need you to take courage and take up your strength and your willingness to pursue God for someone else's life. What if the only prayer that they can receive is the prayer that you give? What if the only way they can see themselves coming out of where they are is through your interceding for them? When was the last time you intercede so that God would shift someone else's life? When was the last time you intercede that you would see God move and do the miraculous in somebody's life? But oftentimes we spend too much of our time begging God for our own needs that we overlook that there is somebody that's connected to us that need God too. You got to be careful that you don't find yourself in a circle of people in this season of your life who's pursuing God for only their desires and their needs and not the needs of everyone that's surrounding them. You need divine connection. What are you saying, Dr. Tim? You need a divine connection, that you need people that's surrounding you that's going to pray you through some of the difficulties times in your life. It's going to be seasons when you feel like you can't pray for yourself. But do you have a correct connection of people who have divine intervention and discernment that they're going to seek God for your life too? This woman in this text understood the assignment. And the assignment was somebody that she was connected to needed God, needed him. She could have easily said, well, no, that ain't got nothing to do with me. She could have easily said, well, no, I take my hands off of it. But what she did was phenomenal, because she pursued God on behalf of seeing him meet the needs of someone else. A matter of fact, she was humiliated in her pursuit. What extremes are you willing to go into in order to see change in somebody else's life? What extreme are you willing to sacrifice to see God move on someone else's behalf? There must be a willingness for us that we seek God for others. And while you're seeking God for others, one thing that is guaranteed, he's surely doing it for you too. But this Wednesday night, I need you to be challenged. I need you to think on this, because we've oftentimes consumed ourselves with the mentality that if it's not about me, then it's not about anyone. And we set ourselves up with a thinking or an ideology of feeling as if it's not revolving around me, then nothing else matters. But somebody's life may be depending on your prayer. Somebody's life may be depending on you fasting for them in order for them to come out of where they are. Somebody's life or situation may be depending upon your willingness to go to God for them. What happens, because if truth be told, we've all found ourselves in situations when you couldn't even find the strength to pray for yourself. But it's something that when you can't find the strength to pray for yourself, that you're surrounded with people who are capable of praying for you. You got to check your circle. You got to check your circle and make sure that those that are surrounding you has the ability to pray you out of some difficult situations that you may find yourself in. I don't need nobody that's going to talk about me. I need people that's going to pray for me. I don't need someone that's going to give me well wishes, but I need someone that's willing to get in the mud, that's willing to come into the fire and snatch me out of where I am. I need someone, as this Canaanite woman was for her daughter, I need an interceder for me. When was the last time you checked your circle to see if you have interceders around you? Are you an interceder? Do you intercede on behalf of other people? Or do we only pray when people ask us to pray, or do we forget to pray for them? What do you really do? How do you really operate? How do you really live your life? Remember the needs of others as you would yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You never know when you are going to need God. And the worst thing you can do is build a world around you and forget the assignment is always others. This is a true definition of what we call discipleship. This woman saw a need for someone else other than herself. And what did she do? She pursued God. She pursued Jesus. until he met that need. And what I love about it is her pursuing him was not based on if situations and circumstances were conducive. It wasn't based on if things were easy. It wasn't based on if everything lined up. But she pursued him even in the face of humility. Yeah. Even being humiliated, she pursued him. How do you know this? Jesus tells her, he says, although you're asking for help, it is not good or appropriate or fair to take the children's bread and throw it to the pet dogs. Here it is. She's being called unclean, filthy, but yet still her pursuit is, I need your help. And this was simply on the strength of her believing God for somebody else. Can you believe God for somebody else just that much? Will you pursue God for somebody else just that much? Will you chase after God for somebody else just that much? Or the moment life begins to happen, or somebody gets on your nerves, somebody calls you out your name, somebody says you this, somebody talk about you, somebody lie on you, somebody throw your name out there in the mud, somebody roll you under the bus, are you going to continue in pursuit, or are you going to allow that to cause you to stray and become distracted on the assignment of seeing God move in somebody else's life? Can you pray me through it even when I can't pray for myself? Can you rock with me when they call me a liar? Can you rock with me when they call me unclean? Can you rock with me when they don't believe in me? Can you rock with me when they don't see I'm being fit or being deemed as worthy to walk in the place and the position that I am? Can you walk with me when those moments I have my fallouts or my downfalls? Or does things have to always be perfect in order for you to be consistent? Yeah. Some of us, we're only there when people, situations are perfect. But the moment life begins to happen, we fall off, we fall short, we disappear. But I'm challenging you on this Wednesday night, this Bible study, for the remaining of this week, pray for somebody else. Make that a habit. Make that a continuous life-living moment that you embrace the opportunity to put someone else before you. Yeah, I know. People don't do that no more. I know. People don't feel like that no more. Why? Because it's all about me. It's about what I want. It's about what I want to do. It's about how I feel. So what you're dealing with really doesn't matter. But I challenge you. I'm challenging you to overlook where you are and take someone else to God first. Pray for that brother that's talking about you. Pray for that sister that used you. Pray for the person that lied on you. Pray for the ones that said you would never be nothing. Pray for the ones that said you're going to be just like your mama and your daddy. Pray for the ones that talked about you and said you wouldn't amount to anything. Pray for the ones that you never believed in you. Put someone else first other than you. And watch and see how God moves. This woman was willing to be humiliated in order to see purpose fulfilled. Can I tell you, promises does not come without adversity. Yeah. Sometimes he called you out in order to call you up. But you cannot allow the crowd or the naysayers to distract you from the assignment. Oh, girl, bruh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. You know what they did? That's not your responsibility to worry about what they did. But you are accountable on doing what is necessary for you to do. And that is pray for them. Pray for somebody else. Put somebody else first. And watch and see God do the rest. It's Wednesday, and I wanted to challenge you. I need you to think. Do you have the courage to put yourself aside and put someone else before you? Yeah. That takes courage. Yeah, that takes courage. Well, Pastor, ain't nobody else got me. How do you know that? When you take care of what's needed for the kingdom, God takes care of what's needed for you. Go forth. And remember, do unto others as you will have them do unto you. This woman pursued God, faced being humiliated, but yet still she saw purpose fulfilled. What are you willing to go through in order to see the manifestation of God in your life and in the lives of the people that surround you? That's real love. That's what Mary J. Blige said. Real love. That you will sacrifice you to see change and fulfillment for somebody else. Thank you for joining us. Guys, I love you. Remember to like, share, post, remind somebody to join us. And this Sunday morning, meet us here at 6912 Cabin Creek Road, Hopkins, South Carolina, 9 a.m. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to joining with you and making you a part of this family. Take courage. Sacrifice you and watch and see what God does next. I challenge you. Pray for them before you pray for yourself. God bless you. I love you guys.